Hi, I'm Nancy with Stony Creek Yarn, and you're watching Along Stony Creek, my How to Search Ravelry special. I can't see myself, although I know it's recording my face, so if I make weird faces, you get what you get. I also only have half an hour to do this because I use Clipchamp for my recordings, and I am not sure that I won't speak too fast. So let's just get right into it. And I'm using Ravelry because I have learned over the years that it is the best place to keep all of my patterns. Every time I've purchased a pattern in paper, it's gone the way of the dodo. I do not know where they are. I'm sure they're in boxes from the move 3.5, 4.5 years ago. But I haven't found them yet. And it's going to take my kid moving out for me to find them because it's behind his stuff. All right. So you could just go into Ravelry and search patterns and search easy sweater. And you know what? You're going to get anything with the word easy in it, but you will get some easy sweaters to knit. I just don't find this to be the best way to do this, or crochet. I do want to say crochet. In fact, I want to open that up because I want to look at that. Instead, when I'm looking for a pattern, a specific pattern, and in this case, an easy sweater, I'm going to do an advanced search. An advanced search allows you to really hone in on exactly what you want. I'm going to move right down past these filters. Because people crochet sweaters, I'm going to go knit or crochet. Then clothing. Um, you're going to have your best luck. If you're a massively involved color work person, if you are a cable goddess, then you absolutely can probably undertake a simple cable and a simple color work. I'm going to assume that this is your first sweater and you've not dove into cables a lot, and I don't mean to offend anyone because certainly new knitters have. And as I said before, knitting a sweater is just a matter of one step, one stitch at a time. But we're going to go for a pullover because I think that you'll have your best luck and be fastest knitting a pullover. Next thing you want to look at is a Ravelry download, if that's important to you. For me, it is very important. So it must be a Ravelry download. There is a very good possibility that my cat is going to jump up here and get between me and the camera because that's her favorite thing. Now the weight. I want to knit this sweater in the shortest amount of time possible so I know that I have something that I am going to wear and get off the needles. And it's not just a process knit, it is a project knit where I have something I love. So I'm going to go for worsted Aran or bulky yarn. I'm not going to worry about meterage. I'm not going to worry about the designer, but the attributes, construction. I am going to worry about construction. All right. And to make this sweater the easiest, way I think works the best, is you're going to knit it in one piece, seamless. I prefer it to have short rows, but I'm going to leave that out. You may not. It's fine. Top down, worked in the round. Excuse me. It's pollen season here. Yeah, you can hear my kitten. Or she's not a kitten, she's a cat. But I call her Kitten Face. She wants to go out to the dye studio. Not a chance, my darling. They have regional ethnic styles if you want to get into that. Fabric characteristics, if you want to get into that. Design elements, collar, edging, neck, ballet boat, suplice, turtleneck, v-neck, asymmetrical, whether you want these. You can get really advanced with this, but we're not going to. We're just going to get the sweater we got. Now, while a baby sweater is a wonderful first sweater project, I am just going to say, let's be selfish knitters and look at adult sweaters. All right. Another very important thing is it must have a photo. And while all of these sweaters do have a photo, not all sweaters, not all anything has a photo. So you have to be aware of that. And we want to do something that is either a piece of cake or easy, or maybe even a 3 just above the medium. That actually is a good idea. We have found 445 matches. 37 is with already favorited. Okay, the Easy V by Caitlin Hunter popped up. Boiling It Works. I'm not sure that that's a good first sweater, but and the Cumulus blouse is great, but anytime you have a V-neck, you do have to knit back and forth quite a bit. So let's do this. Let's just take out this 3 here, because I think that will give us 112 matches, which is enough. She's right here. You want to come say hi? You want to come say no? You're not sure. Say hi. Say hi, Kit Kit. Say hello. And I want to say hi. No, get away, get away. Now she's going to be in my face. So I have returned. I've returned basically 3 pages of matches, and they're a piece of cake or easy. Now, some of these I've already favorited, and I actually have in a favorites file bundle, which I can show you later. By the way, this pro up here is because I have a yarn dyeing business. And I'm going to be publishing 2 patterns this fall. Yay! All right. So I would go with something that is one color, crew neck. So here's one, the Southwood. The Easy Eyelet yoke sweater looks like it might be fancy. It's a yoke sweater. You want yoke or raglan. Drop shoulder's great. I love them, but not for this very first project. What else is maybe I didn't put in my language, which is English or French. Excuse me while I put my language in really quick here. English or French. Okay, 109 matches. So I've lost a couple. All right. So as you're going down and you're looking. Stockinette beginner. That's good. By the way, you can tell by the shapes, that's raglan. This is yoke because it's rounder and the increases are all over. The raglan shaping is in the corners. Let's see, what else might I just like the looks of, just by sort of looking. We're just looking right now. This is the simplest sweater. So yeah, we're just looking. We're just getting an idea of what we can knit. Okay, there's one more I want in here that I don't see. So here's a crochet scrap pullover that I actually want to look at myself later for a scrap pullover. That actually looks really cute. All right. So I've selected for the Southwood, the Easy Eyelet yoke sweater, the Ravelry stockinette beginner raglan, and the simplest sweater. And let's look for a couple of things. The first one, you want to look to make sure that it contains a size that you can wear. That's super, super important. The other thing is to look at the yarn. Is it available? Now, you don't have to knit with these yarns. You can knit with any worsted weight yarn at all. I wouldn't necessarily knit in cotton or silk because there's no give, but you don't have to use these. There are people that will only use the yarn that is suggested, and that's great, but you can use any. It's done on size 6 and 8 millimeter, or 6 and 8, US 6 and US 8 needles, 4 millimeter and 5 millimeter. And it can go from 220 yards for the child size to 1,980 yards for the 5XL. And it's actually pretty good. It's not tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of yarn. Oh, these are the highlights. It's a doll, it's crew neck in the round, one piece. It does have short rows, seamless, raglan construction, positive ease, has plus sizes, teen, toddler, top down, and unisex. So it's got all of the basic stuff. Now, there's not tons and tons of information on this page, and I'll show you in a minute. Page with tons and tons of information, and you'll see what the difference is. So you can go to projects and you can search by helpful. I'm normally not here yet. I am not at all here yet. The next thing I'm going to do before I even do that is look at the next sweater. Now, this is the Easy Eyelet Yoke Sweater by Knititude, which I have in my favorites and I keep looking at, and I think it's a 2024 project. I really, really do. It's $10.50 Canadian, and that's about $8.21 US. It's available in English and French. Usually, I've found no pattern that's only in French. I've looked. Look at the description. Now you see there's a difference. This page does not have as much information by the designer. Why would that be? See right here? The pattern is free. In general, and this is not something that you have to worry about necessarily, a pattern that is paid for is going to have a lot more basic information on the first page. It also is probably going to have, probably not necessarily, better pattern support if you need to email and ask questions or message on Ravelry. This is the Easy Eyelet Yoke Sweater by Knititude, who is Chantel Miyagashima. I really hope I said that right. I'm really embarrassed if I didn't. So there's lots of information. This is a Lion Brand LB collection chainette, which is an Aran weight yarn, approximately 8 wraps an inch. It's got your gauge right here. Although I hit US 10 needles and Aran weight, I usually hit gauge without too much stress. Although you're going to gauge swatch. You're absolutely going to gauge swatch. And we'll talk about that different time. This is a circular yoke sweater. It is not a raglan sweater. Remember, this is a raglan sweater. See the difference in the shaping? These are the raglan increases. Circular yoke shaping happens all over the yoke. It's got eyelets. Don't let those make you scared. That's probably either slip yarn, knit yarn over, or yarn over knit to. It's one of the two. It's not hard. You can do it. It is fitted. It's in the round. It's one piece. It does have plus size, positive ease. It's got ribbing, seamless, has sleeves, top down, written pattern. Here's your description, pictures. I can tell already that I will knit longer ribbing than that. A lot of information on how to choose your size so you know in general how much yarn you're going to be dealing with. And she has the model pictured as wearing a size medium is 5'7", 145 pounds, and a bust of 36.5 inches. So now I know I knit a medium, although I'm not that tall. It's advanced beginner. Talks about basic number of materials you're going to need. Your size 10 needles. So this is going to knit pretty quickly, actually. And even how to download your pattern. I mean, really, this, I can tell by the way she wrote this, that this is going to have well-written instructions because her information is so complete. And that's something you can look at. So I like this sweater. I like it better than the Southwood just because of the pretty eyelets. All right, now I'm going to the Stockinette Beginner Raglan Light, which is knit on an Aran weight. It's also in the round. It is also about $8.21, $10.50 Canadian. This is by it's by I'm sensing a pattern here. This is also by Chantel Miyagashima. But I feel so silly for grabbing two, and that was a complete accident. But it's, again, look at all that information. She's got pictures of other people's projects right there on her page. These are probably her test knitters. Not always, but probably. So that's a good one. Now we have the simplest sweater. This has got negative ease. Okay. This is not, I wouldn't, it says positive ease, but that on her, maybe not negative, but maybe just no ease is what it looks like. So, so there's this one with, it has the yarn overs in it, which are pretty. Lots of good information. Um, it is not. It's by Juliet Romeo Juliet. She suggests knit picks swish worsted, which is a superwash yarn, I believe. And by the way, if you have yarn stashed, it will give you ideas of what you want in your stash, which basically just says, in my case, it says Stony Creek yarn. But I think that this fit isn't as much what I'm after. I think I kind of like the easy eyelet sweater. So I'm using the same dang designer. I don't want to do that. Let's do this instead. Let's go. I want to get the turtle dove too because I'm very close to knitting that. Very close knitting that. It's also a fairly easy pattern. 2 words. All right. So now let's say I'm down to the turtle dove 2 or the easy eyelet yoke sweater. And truly, I could easily knit either one of these and be very, 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 very pleased. Now what you need to do is go to the project page on both of them. By the way, this is a free pattern by Espace Tricot. They're a very interesting company. They are a local yarn store in Montreal, Canada. And during COVID, one of their owners, one of the former owners, went off and became a yarn dyer. I'm not sure what the other one's doing. I could probably find out. I found out completely by accident yesterday. And then, so 2 of their employees purchased it, and they are continuing on with all of the lovely patterns and free patterns. And Espace Tricot writes, if you're going to knit a free pattern, all helpful projects. Espace Tricot is the one. It's their excellent pattern support. Excellent. All right, so this is how the first page you've looked at had a lot of information, but this is what I call the meat. And when I call this the meat, these are people that have actually knit the sweater, the yarn they used, their thoughts. This lady says it flew off her needles, which is always a term I find kind of weird because nothing ever flies off my needles. There's always a point of frustration where I rip it back and throw it away. I'm done. But, and I guess it's a hindsight thing. But so lots and lots of notes. Settled on this pattern for her mother, for trying 2 different patterns for her mother, been marked as helpful. Piece, fleece, worsted weight, and Aramat. Knit it in a week in Cape Cod. That's motivated. I would be too busy doing things on Cape Cod. Drops air. So lots of different and lots of really good, anything that has, is it this mark? Yeah, this mark is how many people found the note helpful. So starting with here, so look for helpful notes. Even if one person finds it helpful, then they can be excellent, excellent, excellent notes. Although this says marked as helpful with no project notes. So again, look at everything that is written down. Knit body shorter than called for pattern. You may want to find out more about why she decided to do that. Clicking, oopsie, wrong thing. So clicking on her notes. I clicked the right thing. I don't know what my brain was today. Knit the body shorter than comfort pattern, super fast, and it's a pretty sweater. She knit the body 9.5 inches, then did 2 inches in 3x1 ribbing at the hem. Decided on the short sleeves, 43 stitches on hold, picked up 9 stitches, not picked up 9, so for 52 total underarm stitches, 15 rounds, and then 8 rounds of 3x1 knit ribbing for the bind off. So those are good notes. That helps me make a decision. Here's one. This is a color that's very similar to what I want to knit it in for myself. So I will come and look at that. She's ready to cast on the second one. She did German twisted cast on, 7 rows of ribbing instead of 5, made short rows in the back. So there are no short rows built in, but short rows can be, you could obviously always put your own short rows in. And here's the turtle dove. Let's look at these notes. So what you need to do, okay, she made a lot of adjustments and really made good notes about them. So what you need to do, and it's all part of it, is what I found you need to do is you just want to look at all of the notes that the designer made. Spastrico makes excellent notes on the first page. And although it does not go as large as I wish it would, truly. And that may affect it. Actually, I am a medium, small medium in size, but if it doesn't go to 3x, I probably won't knit it, even if it's a free pattern, unless they have announced plans to extend the size. So easy peasy, knititude, easy eyelet yoke sweater is my final decision. And I like it so much, I'm going to add it to my cart. And then I will buy it when, and she's got a sale going on right now too. I don't need to buy all those sweaters at once. I always have more things in my cart than I can ever knit in a lifetime. Well, Felix pullover, that's a good one too. So that's how I go about finding a fairly easy pattern. And then as I get stronger in my skills and abilities, I can start searching for things like bottom up, because you can knit a sweater bottom up, drop shoulders, set in sleeves that are knit separately. Those are all things you can move to. There's actually my favorite beginner sweater, if you've done any lace work at all, is a ranunculus, because it is a very easy sweater to get absolutely right. This is a satisfying knit if you like the way it looks. She knit it in worsted wool yarn. You really can knit the sweater in anything. And look at all the projects. I don't even know what the ratio of project people that put information about projects in to people that knit, but if it's like 50 to 1, ton of people have knit this sweater. I mean, it's one of those sweaters that I go places and be like, nice ranunculus. Okay, so that is my take on sweaters. And let me see. Easy sweaters. Okay, and then my bundle of easy sweaters I find to be very knittable the first time. And I either, in some of these, in a couple of cases, you saw me put them in my cart, and that's these 3. But other than that, I own these patterns, and I have read them, and I've made a decision to knit or not knit, except for the Felix. I also don't own the Felix. The Tolstati, I went out and bought the second it was available because it was so cute. But these are what I have knit the holly, I've knit a ranunculus, I've knit a cumulus. Next up on my needles is the Lula tea and the Tolsta tea. Um, so I've knit some of these, but I've read all but 4 of the patterns for ease of reading, ease of use, and and the chances that you're going to find it potato chippy enough to finish it fairly quickly and have a lovely, lovely, lovely sweater. So always the Flax by Tin Can Knits, the Felix Pullover by Amy Christopher, White Mountain is by Midori Hiroshi, same place lady who made designed the ranunculus. Maya is Isabel Kramer. Ankestrich did Holly Petite Knit. And these are names that you're going to see a lot. And one of the reasons that you're going to see the same names over and over designing things like Jared Flood is because these designers are really good at writing out instructions. When you're knitting your first sweater, you want as many instructions and as much hand holding as you can possibly get. And then you may not ever get your hand held or need it at all. But it's nice to know that it's available if you so desire. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing with me. If you have any thoughts on Ravelry searches and how you do it, if it's different than the way I do it, I would love to hear it in the comments. And remember, every comment in the month made in the month of July or June until July 3rd is eligible to win a skein of yarn, which is not with me at the moment. It's my roller rink colorway, and I'll be picking those on the 3rd of July and announcing them probably July 4th. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate likes and comments and obviously subscriptions, and it's been really fun talking to you today.